Hi there everyone, Matt here. I hope you're well, and today I'm bringing you a video to show you how you can protect your business data in Microsoft 365. We're going to get the crayons out on the whiteboard, virtually speaking, using Microsoft Whiteboard. So let's head over to my PC and take a look at what that looks like now. And here we are, we're back. As I said, I have been at the crayons virtually in Microsoft Whiteboard, and we have ourselves a little diagram here. So what have we got? We have got a typical M365 tenant, your M365 tenant, on the left-hand side, the services and the built-in or bolt-on protection mechanisms that you can use to protect these. So SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive, obviously these all share the SharePoint Online common platform under the covers. By default, you've got a recycle bin that protects these. You've got version history, but what's configurable and not on by default are the retention policies. In Exchange Online, which is obviously a completely separate platform, you do have a recycle bin protecting that. That is set to 14 days by default. You have retention policies and litigation hold, which can be enabled to enhance your protection in that area. Down further and looking a bit even more under the covers, we've got Azure ID behind the scenes. That's protected with a recycle bin by default. And then you've got Intune if you're doing device management, which isn't protected with anything by default. No recycle bin, no nothing. If you make a mistake here and you need to get the stuff back, tough, it doesn't exist. Interestingly, we can bolt on a PowerShell script or Posh script for both of these using external modules in order to protect the workloads. So how do we better protect our data in M365? Well, in my mind, it requires a multi-dimensional approach. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you need to use the system defaults that we've got already, but adapt them and make them suit your business, right? So for example, the Exchange Online recycle bin default for that's 14 days. You can increase it to 30. That's going to enhance your protection. You then need to use features that are not on by default, like retention policies and litigation hold. You're probably already paying for those in your tenant, so why not turn them on and start using them? After that, you can bolt on the services such as the PowerShell scripts to Intune and Azure AD to further enhance your posture, and then back those output files up to some Azure storage, preferably 2 locations, maybe Azure storage and some on-prem if you still got it, or 2 different Azure regions. That's what I mean by using a multi-dimensional approach. Ideally then, on top of all of that, what you will do is use a third-party software as a service backup tool. I partner with a number of different vendors for this, but AvePoint are one that I would thoroughly recommend. Their tool is very simple to use. It's got lots of restorability options, data's encrypted in flight and at rest, etc., etc. So some common practices around backing up your M365 tenant or protecting it. Default protection, in all honesty, if a lot of businesses are honest with themselves, this is where they are, because it's not obvious that you necessarily need to do this stuff. And that's bad. You don't want to be just using the defaults out the box. Okay. If you accept the risks and document it, well, okay, that does make your position a little better, a bit more defensible. But it's just arse covering, really. You've not actually made it that much better in actuality in terms of recoverability. If you modify the system defaults and put in retention policies, that's going to be much better if you've accepted the risk and documented that. If you then layer up the PowerShell backup for Intune and Azure AD, this is going to get you to a pretty good position, to be honest, because you're going to be mostly covered in the event of an issue. But again, you don't have a secondary backup or a tertiary backup. The position you really want to get to, in my opinion, is that where you are doing all of that and then also backing everything up using a third-party software as a service platform such as AvePoint. The reason that you want to do this is you need to have that off-premise backup. You need to have that fallback point. If you get hit with a ransomware attack and it's successful and your tenant data is being held hostage, you need to have the ability to recover it from another separate storage location into your tenant or a new tenant, wherever. That depends on your resiliency plan and your recovery plan, but you need to have the ability to do that. It's not hugely expensive for the level of protection it provides. And just to remind everybody, Microsoft do not back up your data. I hope you found this useful. I've certainly enjoyed getting on the crayons again and doing a little whiteboard session, so I enjoyed putting it together. If you liked it, please like it on LinkedIn, drop a comment or share it among your network. I'd love to know what everybody thinks. Until next time, I will see you again soon. Thanks.